So we'll be using this beautiful Ankara fabric for our kimono jacket. For this sewing today, we'll only be needing 2 yards of our Ankara fabric, which is what you see me folding. So the first thing I did there was to fold 1 yard to fit in 2 portions, as you saw me illustrate. So the first measurement I'm taking there is the shoulder to shoulder measurement, which I divided by 2 to give me 8 inches. Then I went in by 10 inches so as to take my bust line measurement and also my chest line measurement, which is the above bust measurement. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to get my waistline measurement. So that's the line you see me drawing. Next will be our hip line measurement. So this is 10 inches from the waistline measurement. So now we have the hip line, waistline, bust line, chest line, and the shoulder to shoulder measurement. So the final line we'll be taking here would be the full length of our kimono jacket. So that being done, we'll go over to get our armhole measurements. So for that, I'll be dividing my chest line measurement into 4. So to get my armhole measurement. So I'll also be taking the same measurement, which is my bust circumference divided by 4. Please take note that after taking the actual measurement, you add 2 inches seam allowance to it. And also we'll be doing the same on the full length of gown. We'll be adding the hemming allowance at the bottom of the gown length so as to have enough fabric for our seam allowance. So now I'll simply be connecting all the lines together from the armhole measurement to the gown length. So the first I did there was from the waist to the length of the gown, and then I took from the armhole to the waist as well. So now we'll go over to take the neck measurements. So for the neck, we'll be taking 3 to 3 inches. So from the top, it's 3 inches, while also we went in by 3 inches as well, and then we drew our curve. So now we'll be cutting out our pattern. So please ensure to leave out fabric for your seam allowance. So next we'll be using this back fabric that we have cut out to now cut the front fabric. So please take note that I did not leave any zip allowance. Reasons being that this is not like a gown, it's a jacket, and so because it does not require buttons, only an hook and eye that will be needed, so there's no need to leave out a zipper allowance. So the only difference at this point will be the neck measurement. So for the back it was 3/2 inches measurement we took. So for the front we'll be taking 3 inches to 3 inches for the neck area. So that is the only difference between the back and the front. And then also for the front, we are using two separate materials that have been cut out, unlike the back that was a single material folded into. So please take note of this. So now that I'm done cutting our actual fabric, I'll go ahead to cut out my lining with the same size with my actual fabric. So now that I'm done attaching my lining to my actual fabric, I'm now turning it over to the right side. So next, I'll just go over and then iron them out so they can actually look neat. So now I'm done ironing it. You can see that it's looking neatly, attached. It's looking neat. So please ensure while sewing your kimono jacket, you iron out your fabric. So now I've placed the fabric together, so I'll just sew the shoulders with the right sides facing each other. Having done that, I have here my 2 yards of organza material, which I'll be using to, beautify the fabric even further. So please ensure you watch for the details of what I'm about doing to this gown. So first thing first, I'm actually going to cut this organza fabric out 5 inches wide, and then I'll be stitching this together to have a very long length that will be enough to make the actual pleats that I intend for my kimono jacket. So please ensure you follow the details for this outfit so as to get the exact or even better design after sewing. So now I'm almost done cutting them out. So the next thing I'm doing here is actually taking measurements of where and how I'm going to place my organza and make pleats before sewing. So this measurement is very important, so your pleats will be in order. So that's the actual essence of this line. But if you're good at sewing, you would not have to make a mistake. You could as well ignore lining your fabric. But as a beginner, I usually advise you follow every detail so as to get your work perfectly done without mistake. So now I'm done with that. The next thing, I'll be attaching my organza and making pleats on this kimono jacket. So please follow exactly what I'm doing here. You can see that I folded my organza in two. Okay, so next I'll be making pleats. You could see now that the material is actually facing the edge of one side of the front. So after sewing, making pleats and sewing, I'll flip it over to the other side and then make a top stitch. I really hope you understand this part of it. It's actually very simple if you follow it in details. So now you can see that I've flipped the organza to the other side, and I'm doing a top stitch on it, so it will be a bit relaxed before I start making the pleat on the next line. So I'm actually going to repeat this process 4 times, so that it depends on you. So at this point, I'm done attaching my organza design to my kimono jacket. So I'll just join the both sides together and then go over to the sewing machine to run it through. Lest I forget, please take note that I ran it from the bottom of the kimono to the armpits. The reasons being that the back should be higher than the front. So now I'm cutting out the hand. So if you see the shape is a bit unique, it's very simple. I believe anyone could cut this shape out. It's a small fabric. Then I'm just folding the edges, and then I'll go over to the sewing machine to sew it. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I'll be making a form of gather sort of on the shoulder of this hand, so it will look like as in I want it to have a form of a wing sort of. So if you like the design, you could also do yours like this. So I think that's basically all on the sewing of this kimono jacket. So the last and final thing I did was to use a needle to attach a hook and eye at the front of the kimono jacket. So that's all.